Well, this is the Ford Ranger, the PX3, Ford Ranger XLT four-wheel drive dual cab. Yeah, it's amazing how long this thing's been around. It was launched at the 2010 Sydney International Motor Show, and it's been around for more than a decade, which is quite incredible. In that time, it's had several upgrades. Started out with original PX, then PX2, PX3 upgrades, and it's been duking it out with the Toyota Hilux for the most popular 4x4 dual cab ute over the last decade. So it's really been quite a contender for Ford, and certainly one of its greatest success stories, because very proudly designed and developed in Australia, even though it's built in Thailand, because it's much cheaper to build there. But yeah, it's a great vehicle. It's certainly a handsome machine. You know, Ford just got the styling so right from the start that just with these little upgrades, cosmetic upgrades they've done over time, they really haven't had to do that much to keep the thing looking good. So it really is a good looking truck. Now, the beauty of this model that we're looking at today is this has been fitted with a number of FLA or Ford licensed accessories, and GFAs, which is genuine Ford accessories. Now, the only difference between that, FLAs are from outside suppliers like Rhino Rack and that sort of thing, approved by Ford, whereas GFAs are developed in-house, but they're all covered by the same warranties, all designed to fit and work with the vehicle. So let's have a look around at you can see this big beautiful steel bull bar on it, which is designed to work in with Ford's active and passive safety systems, which is really important. It's a really good looking bar too. It's also got these big clear view reversing mirrors, which we've previously used towing a caravan, and they're fantastic. They just slide out like that, and they massively increase the view behind the vehicle. They're very good design. And it's also fitted with the snorkel here, which is terrific in terms of getting cleaner airflow from up on the roof there. And of course, if you're going through some deep water, make sure your engine doesn't flood out. Got some Rhino racks on the roof, part of the Ford licensed accessory range, which we've put a roof box on and a few other things. Another set at the back, which we've kitted out with snowboard racks and various other things, so that seems to work pretty well. On the back here is a Aero Class Ford approved canopy. It's a butte canopy too. Really looks like it belongs to the vehicle, and it certainly adds to the look, the overall look of this package. It's a pretty sizable vehicle, the Ranger too. It's weighs about 2.2 tons, wheelbase 3220 millimeters, I think, 3220, and it's about 5.5 meters long, so it's a pretty sizable machine. Here's the back of the Aero Class canopy, lifts up there, and tailgates drop down. That's a pretty sizable load area in the back there. This one's also fitted with some extra lighting on the sides, and this tailgate dust sealing kit, which we've tested on some dusty roads, and it works really, really well in terms of keeping the dust out of the back. And it's also got the Ranger mat on the floor, which our pet dog loves to sit on. Keeps her nice and comfortable. So that's a very good part of the package. 3.5 ton tow bar on the back. That's standard for the XLT anyway. But you can see it's just a very, very handsome looking vehicle, and they did a terrific job in the overall design of this. And the proof of that is that, 10 years or more than 10 years after its launch, it's still in high demand. It's still selling really strongly, and it's still one of the best dual cab 4x4 utes on the market, certainly in Australia. Okay, well, that's how she looks. We might see how she drives. So underway in the PX3 Ford Ranger XLT 4x4 dual cab, and this vehicle's available in two versions or two drivetrain choices. There's the the venerable 3.2 litre 5-cylinder turbo diesel with 147 kilowatts and 470 newton meters, or like our vehicle here, which is fitted with the twin turbo 2 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel with the premium 157 kilowatts of power and 500 newton meters of torque. Now, regardless of which engine you choose, there's the Butte 10-speed torque converter automatic transmission, a dual range part-time 4x4, and of course the remote rear diff lock. And the beauty of the diff lock in this thing is that, unlike some rival 4x4s, it doesn't cancel the traction control on the front axle when you're using it. And there's been several occasions where we've been off-roading this thing, and boy, I tell you what, that combination of a remote rear diff lock and traction control still being active on the front axle is quite a combination. Almost unstoppable, really, if you had the right tyres for the conditions. But it's a very, very competent vehicle because it's really setting class benchmarks in terms of its capabilities. It's got a 3.5 ton towing capacity, which is the peak for this class. It's also got better than a 1 ton payload rating. We've put both of those things to the test since we've had this, and it just performed both jobs admirably. We towed about a 2.6, 2.7 ton caravan, which it did with ease. We've put more than a ton of payload in it, which it didn't really seem to notice it was even there. It was very, very capable. And the beauty of what Ford's done with the design of this vehicle, I mean, it's capable of doing all those things, but they've got such a good balance, such a good compromise between its load carrying capacity and its unladen ride quality. It's just, and when you can think that most dual cab utes are driven around pretty much unladen, that's a really, really important quality. And the Ranger is just terrific to drive. It's just very car-like, even though it's a big truck. Like I said earlier, 2.2 tons, sits up really high, 4-wheel drive and all. It's very, very car-like to drive. It's a very, very easy vehicle to live with, particularly if you apply it to what is commonly now the use for dual cab utes, which is the work and play vehicle, a hard worker during the week and escape vehicle on the weekend. The Ford Ranger, because of its qualities, particularly its ease of driving, makes it really well suited to those sort of lifestyles. So all in all, over the last decade or more, the Ranger has proved itself to be one of the great all-rounders, and which is a real credit to the Ford design team that put it together. Given how competent this vehicle is, I'm really looking forward to what Ford comes up with the PX Ranger's replacement, which is due in 2022.